Hey guys, this is Jill Cuny Cohen coming at you from Eatisserie. I'm so lucky because I actually have the Asian cover girl. Her name is Cirsten Weldon and she's here with me. I'm so excited. So I'm going to turn the camera around on her because she's like, looks like this. Which is... Hi Kirsten, how are
Hi,
you?
how are you?
Doing well. I'm really glad you're here with me today because I think that labeling must be very important to selling any product, but especially when it comes to food. Tell me a little bit about how you get started.
Okay, for the wine, I actually was approached by this guy from the Vintage Wine Estates. They have a lot of different labels of wine, the very high end, the low end, whatever. And he said, I want you to do a wine line with us. And I said, fine. And we want to use your image. Okay, so interesting about the image, I got to pick the images because I'm a model, so I know what looks good, and I've been doing it for like over 20 years, so I know which picture looks good, and so I'm going to select what it is. Also, you have to kind of match the picture with the wine. So that picture that she just showed you was for a dessert wine, a Meister. I'm not even really great at saying the name.
Gewürztraminer, I think. Gewürztraminer.
So
Okay.
that's a dessert wine.
Yes, it is.
And what really helped me out a lot, I mean, I'm good at doing that, matching the label to the wine. Because my cousin is a wine distributor in Singapore. So he's like, okay, they're going to give you 5 wines. You need a Cabernet Sauvignon. You need a Meritage, which is the best seller.
Right.
You need all these different ones, a white wine, a red wine, whatever,
yeah.
a
Dry,
dessert wine.
sweet,
Yeah, exactly. So the wines that I'm going to pick for you, we're just doing common sense. Let's look at all the wines and see the platinum winners, the gold winners. And the good news is I like to go into a market that's less common, which means instead of going to Napa Valley, we did the adjacent valley, which is Sonoma Valley, which is parallel to Napa Valley, Valley of the Moon. So this is more vintage Healdsburg. And that's where I went to high school, boarding high school, and so I know the area.
Right.
So that was for
this
one is fantastic. This one is a Meritage red blend.
Okay.
And this is a picture that I picked for that.
Wow.
And basically that's me, obviously. And then you have the label at the back. And I wrote it. It was like growing up in Singapore, I never dreamed that I'd become an international actress cover model with 2 interior design shows. I had a ranch in St. Helena, and I personally selected these to go with the spicy Asian foods we Singaporeans love to eat. So from Napa and Sonoma Valley to the Valley of the Moon, bottled to perfection for you.
So, in other words, Kirsten, this wine was being marketed just solely on the fact that you are a beautiful supermodel and you're a high end, like you're a person who people would associate with expensive things and quality.
Correct.
So that's what you played on in your label. You made sure that whoever buys this wine is somebody who would expect high quality.
Correct.
And beauty and a little sexiness.
Yeah.
And wow, I bought, wine that was designed by a supermodel. I mean, that's a really cool way to do it.
Yeah, but also, you want quality. I'm Asian, so obviously I want to give you quality at a good price. How much is a bottle of Opus One? It's about $100 or more. No, it's
more. No, Opus One is like a $500 bottle of wine.
So this is better than Opus One, and it costs a third of the price.
Wow.
And basically, it tastes better. It's won more awards than Opus One. Opus One is just a conglomeration of Le Baron de Rothschild from France and Robert Mondavi. And they did a combination together. And they promoted this. Opus One, it was so funny when I went to Opus One, they told me and my aunt, she's very, very wealthy. She's like an heiress.
You consulted them about?
No. I consulted them about buying Opus One.
Oh,
because she wanted to take a bunch of wine home for her friends.
Right.
And she was going to have them shipped, and which we did.
Right.
She's like, they told us, oh, we're very exclusive. We can only sell you 2 bottles because there's only 2 of you. I go, no, we need like 25 bottles. And I said, what do you want me to do? Go to the vineyards and pick up 25 illegals? And then they're like, okay, we'll give you 25 bottles.
Right.
I mean, mine was a strategic, okay? So we picked, my cousin's a wine distributor in Singapore. We picked the ones with the most awards. Gold medals, platinum medals, some silver, but mostly gold and platinum, and award winners from years and years and years with the right year. I'm not a wine connoisseur, so I mean I don't know anything about wine, but
well,
my cousin educated me, and so if I'm going to put my name on it, I'm going to learn and I'm going to know. And we even paired the wines with what Asian food to eat that you eat.
Right.
So that Gustermeister, I can't even pronounce
Gewürztraminer.
whatever that is, it is good with Thai food.
Okay, interesting.
And then this one, the comparable to Opus 1 at a third of the price, is best with Chinese food.
Okay.
And it's a red blend. It's so full-bodied, and it's a red blend. And then I have a Cabernet Sauvignon, which is another red wine, which I had to learn that.
Right.
And then I had a Sauvignon Blanc, which is a white wine. And then from there. So I don't want to do many. I did 5. The good news is I was dating the owner of P.F. Chang's, Paul Fleming, and
Nice.
Fleming Steakhouses for 11 years.
Oh my gosh.
And he bought my wine like it was going out of style.
Wow.
And so I was the best seller out of all the playmates, and I'm the 4-in-1 for like 10 years. I just because I have a high common sense quotient, I wouldn't consider to going into the wine business right now unless I had a huge following, because there's much more competition. Mm-hmm. Go into something that you have a niche market. Mm-hmm. That's my advice. Mm-hmm. Go into and pick pictures that are going to make the wine pop to push the product. So you want to pop. I'm a fashion designer, interior designer by trade. So I know a lot about color and what to push, and so I paired everything with the bottles and the wine itself. So red wine, red lingerie.
Right.
Sugar,
Makes sense.
Dessert wine, gray.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So yeah, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. The label has to promote the wine. You wouldn't have you in a white outfit promoting red wine. You would have you in a red. It's like it's just a wine experience for dummies, right? Basically. Mm-hmm. So basically, yes, you got to start from square one. I guess I would be considered starting at square one. So I'm like, okay, red wine should have a red outfit. The white wine has a white outfit, and we go from there.
Yeah, definitely.
So you got so it's for people. I mean, and it did really well, because fortunately I had my cousin who's a wine distributor that helped select the wines, and we just did it by awards.
Okay, so let's move on to like a food product, and not wine, but food, because you've also marketed food.
Yes. Fortunately for me, I'm Seventh-day Adventist, and my church has had, still has one of the huge companies, Kellogg's, Seventh-day Adventist.
Owns Kellogg's.
Yeah, my church used to own Kellogg's. I think they sold it.
Okay.
But it started. My church is into health. So the second one would be Little Debbie's Snack Cakes, which is owned by the can't even remember the family. I actually live by the McKee Foods, and I own the McKee Carriage House in Chattanooga. So I'm connected in a way.
Wow.
And so that's how I developed. She'll show you a picture. We're just developing it now. My cookie, that is an anti-aging cookie, basically. I'd like to do stuff that is more original. So I don't really want to copy anyone else. So I want to do an original thing. So I kind of got my inspiration from the Little Debbie snack cake, which is junk food, basically. Everyone knows Little Debbie's. Right. But I'm doing a health thing, and I want to separate it because Crazy Rich Asians the movie is out and is #1, and I'm Singaporean, and that's about Singapore. So I want to do my label in Chinese, which means anti-aging cookie. And that's she will show you a picture of that later because she's got that, but we haven't really finished it completely. But I wanted to do something that someone could take and really the ingredients are key. And so I've researched it because I'm into health. I could actually say I was a naturopath because I've gone to very high-end naturopaths and I know what gives you brand new skin. What gives you brand new skin? Alpha lipoic acid. I take that every day. DMAE. If you look at Dr. Pericone's skincare products, they always have alpha lipoic acid, DMAE. DMAE has a double purpose. It not just gives you good circulation on your skin, it also helps your brain. And if you have attention deficit, it kind of clears it.
Well, how do you put all this information on a label? You don't have a lot of room, right?
You manage to put them on a label, and then you also have to figure out a way, if you're doing an anti-aging cookie, to not use preservatives when you are doing the recipe, right?
Right.
So what do? What is anti-aging and doesn't need preservatives?
Honey?
We have honey in there.
Okay.
But I would say dates.
Oh, dates. Oh, okay.
Sugar dates.
Okay.
And we don't use sugar, so we use honey. Sugar dates and
honey doesn't go bad either. Yeah.
Yeah, it all meshes together.
Right.
And you have to have it taste good. And walnuts. Walnuts are great. Omegas, they're great.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, to sell yourself, that's a major thing. If you can sell yourself as a product, and that's all I've done all my life. So why wouldn't you be able to parlay your looks into the products that you are doing?
Okay. Well, admittedly, most people are not model material.
Okay.
So I would think, though, that your advice, though, would be for someone to market themselves along with the product if that's applicable.
Correct.
But if it isn't, do you have any advice for somebody who maybe is selling an anti-aging cookie, but no one knows who they are, and they're not a model, and they're not famous? What would go into a label like that?
Okay, well, let me just give you what I feel that is important. Basically, what I would say is you have to be very passionate about your product. You have to put a lot of research into it. You have to put a lot of your passion into it. If you're not passionate about it and you're just doing it as a money maker, you're going to quit because, you're going to have to go through some different samples, quite a few different samples. Like I have a perfume line. And I have the perfume here. I can go get it if you'd like, but I mean, I have the perfume here. They called me from Shark Tank to have them promote it on that show because why did they want my perfume? They contacted me because my perfume was a green perfume, which means it was in recycled French bottles and recycled bags that were when they first started out the little phone bags.
Okay, so you took advantage of the green movement, and that's how you were noticed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And the bottle's beautiful, and the scent's amazing.
So, in other words, you're following a trend.
I'm following a trend. That's good. But before there was a trend, I was already into it. Okay. Fortunately for me, I seem to know what the public actually wants because when I feel like, even with clothing, if I feel like I want to start buying plaid, it's going to go in style. I have that extra sixth sense about it.
Okay.
So, basically that's... so
you go with that.
That I go with my gut.
Right.
So if you don't have that, you need a little team. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so what do people need to look at then in order to decide, what's a good time to market a certain product, such as anti-aging or wine or, something that will, like the ketogenic diet right now is very popular. Okay,
so all of these things that you have mentioned are, stuff that you ingest, basically.
Yeah.
So I think they're always in style. I think you always need food. I think you always need vitamins. I think people like to drink. if your wine is fantastic and it tastes great and it's got a lot of, the pricing's great, it's going to sell more than a very expensive one that is comparable, but, is 3 times the price.
Yeah, let's talk about pricing very quickly now that you bring that up, because that would make the difference between a product that sells and a product that doesn't leave the shelves, right? If it's too expensive, no one's going to buy it. On the other hand, maybe if it's expensive, people might think that it's better quality and want to buy it. How do you know the difference?
Well, you need to, you can tell the difference, because the bottom line is, let's just go by the masses. Look at Kylie Jenner. She's a she's like the richest of all the Kardashians.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's she marketing to? She's not marketing to the wealthy people. She's marketing to everyone, all the millennials. And her stuff's not that expensive. So I prefer to do a numbers game. I prefer to do one, instead of like, one, every 2 days. I prefer to do like 1,000 a day.
Right. Of course. Who doesn't?
I prefer to be pretend I'm on QVC or Home Shopping Network and just dole it out like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But how do you get to that point?
You've got to have a good product.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You got to have an attractive product. Number 2, it's got to look good. And number 3, you've got to know how to market it.
How important is color when it comes to labeling?
Oh, very important. It dictates the mood, and it's very important.
Are there any studies or anything that you might know of or you follow to tell like what colors are most attractive to people when they're buying food? Like, for instance, I've heard in the past, like, people don't want to drink, like, I remember when I was a child and my brother and sister and I had milk, and we would color it different colors and see which milk we liked better just from the colors. The taste didn't change, but the color made it either taste better or not, for a weird reason, right? So I remember being turned off by the milk that was green, but I liked the milk that was pink.
Right.
So like that. Is there any kind of anything about, as far as what do people's eyes drawn towards when they're looking?
I think if you're drinking a milk or some kind of liquid, you'd want to keep it into the muted tones.
Right.
So you'd like,
yummy colors.
Beige.
But as far as labeling goes, though,
labeling.
Yeah, if there's any kind of colors that really pop to consumers' eyes, should you have splashes of red? But you did mention that the wine is red, so the outfit's red, and the wine is a dessert wine, so the outfit's gray. So I understand that too. I'm just
okay, so basically I say the background I like darker backgrounds because I want the image of either the name or the label to pop. So like I'd have a dark purple background or black or whatever, and then I'd have the thing pop out. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to use colors that are what would they say, pastels too much, because it doesn't look as expensive. As an interior designer, people don't understand. They want their house to be light all the time. What makes your house look expensive is the dark colors.
Really?
Dark always looks more expensive. Okay. And then you have little pops of color with the dark.
Okay.
Like if you had too much leopard, your house would look, or red, your house would look like a bordello. You don't want that.
That's true. Well, we're running out of time here, but I want to thank you so much for your expertise and your information, and I hope that everybody gets something out of this video, because Cirsten is the consummate professional when it comes to selling items, as you can see. I mean, every time I talk to her, there's something else that she's sold.
I have a rug line that's doing really
rug
well
line
in Hawaii.
Yeah, she's also written a book, so she's multi-talented.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any questions, you want to hear from Cirsten again, let me know, and I'll certainly bring her back on because she's a close personal friend.
Exactly.
All right, you guys. Well, you take care. Bye, Cirsten. Thanks again for coming on Eatisserie.
You're welcome, Jill. Anytime.